Hello everyone, this is update video for the LP. I said before that I was gonna update her every molt and hopefully catch as many in the process. As far as her molting process, I was gonna try to catch as many as I could, but I was definitely gonna document a video every stage of her molting process, just to show you how a little tiny N-star tarantula like this can grow to be a massive, almost 12-inch long tarantula. This one here was in pre-molt for about maybe a week and a half, and it actually shocked me that she took as long as she did to molt, because normally when they're this size they molt very fast. Sometimes you can feed them maybe a couple of times and they'll molt in between those two feedings. And so I saw this one coming. She's the one that took the longest, as far as me being shocked at all the new tees that I got. I got a bunch of new slings in about a week and a half to 2 week span, and she was definitely the smallest of them. And now she's molted. This is Kamats. This is the one I named for my buddy from work. He always wanted me to name one of my tees Kamats, so this is the one. She just molted about, had to have been 20 to 30 minutes ago, because I just changed her, just dropped some water in her for her. And she's doing okay. She's very skinny and looking like an N-star tarantula would look like. But I know she had just molted a while ago, because I transferred my OBT into a small critter keeper. I just picked up the whole web. The web was intact. It came up with the lid that I took out. She was in something like this that my green bottle blue's in. Showed her on my previous Christmas video. She just molted, and I wanted to go ahead and move her without any problems while she was still hardening up. I just gently picked up the lid. The web was firmly attached to it. I put it down in here and kind of just snipped away at the top of the webbing, and she probably didn't even know she moved anywhere, so that's great. She'll get a shock when she comes walking out of here. She'll be in something else. But that was easy. Didn't really want to mess with her when she hardened up and was hungry, so. And every time I pulled the lid up, that web came up with it, and I thought it would just be an easy transfer to do, and she didn't feel a thing. So that was great. But we also got a couple more molds while I'm at it. Alright. If you look very carefully down there, there's some moving parts or some legs in there. That's my Poecilotheria ornata. That's the fringed ornamental sling I got about close to a month ago, maybe. A little less than that, but she finally molted. She was very dark, and I knew when she was building this tube here, or this funnel, that she was gonna molt. And the last couple of days she's been down there since Christmas, hiding out at the bottom, so I knew she was gonna molt. I can't get the molt out. I saw it intact in there a little while ago, but now it's kind of broken apart. She's been moving around and actually laying on top of it, so she'll probably bring it out when she's done, or she'll leave it, or whatever she wants to do. I'm not gonna mess with her at all. And so that's cool. The P ornata is molted, and just by looking at her legs and her stripings and everything, she looks, even as a sling, they look kind of cool after being freshly molted. I wish this would pick up more, but there's some webbing on the glass there, so the reflection is a little brighter than what I'm actually seeing. And you can see her in there a little bit. Looks like she's trying to push the molt out. Looks like she's cleaning her legs or something, huh? She looks a lot bigger. Alright, there's the P ornata molt. She kicked it out of there, and I was able to grab it and get it out. Just your standard sling molt there. She came out perfectly. It was still wet when I got it out of there, so that's a good thing. I got over here just to finish up some updates. I was going to do some rehousing, and decided to take a good look at all my tees since I was rehousing, and kind of get a feel who need to be rehoused, and quite frankly, I've been doing a good job of anticipating their growth and putting them in enclosures that they can grow into instead of having to change them after each molt, considering they molt so much when they're slings. So most of my teas don't have to be, that's a peace grower there, don't have to be moved at all. So I'm very happy about that. I don't like doing rehousing, especially multiple ones in one day. So and this is the one I was really worried about. My Haplopalma albostriatum, the Thai zebra. She has been, when I put her in here, it was supposed to be temporary, and she ended up digging immediately and making it her own. So I kind of left her in there, and she's been eating. And I you know, since she's a pet hole, you really don't need something this big. And I was thinking about rehousing her today and putting her into something a little smaller until I saw this. Alright, what you see there is the Thai zebra's tunnel that goes from all the way up here, all the way underneath, down and completely through the enclosure to the other side of it on the bottom. You can actually see her in there if you look closely. Let me see here. It's very hard to see through the webs, but I think she's towards the left of the enclosure. But this is why I'm not taking her out, because she's actually doing okay, and as long as I can see something of what she's doing in there, I don't mind her being in something this big. You got to be careful of when you have a pet hole that you can't see any tunnels. They don't put out any extra food or bring out the molt to let you know they're alive, mainly because there's no water dish in here, so you kind of have to soak the substrate for them to drink when they're that low. If you give too much water, it'll flush her out. She won't go back down, or you can drown her. So you have to be careful of that. But as long as you see stuff like this, and I can actually see her walking out the bottom, this is actually perfect for her now, and I'm not going to rehouse her because she's doing alright. What I am going to do is cut down just a little bit of the cone up there, because it's a little too close to the top. I might cut it down a little bit. I might just leave it alone, but I might just cut a little bit off of it so it's not so tall and up to the top of the enclosure, because I can't really see up there. So alright, we'll move from right to left. This is the Green Bottle Blues molt. She molted yesterday or the day before, somewhere around in there, and she didn't gain too much size. I think I filmed her a little bit the other day on my Christmas video, and you can kind of see her now. She basically looks the same, she's just a little bigger. She's right there. Next up is the Salmopoeis armenia that molted, and she was about 1.5 inches when I got her. This is the one that got loosed of literally 2 minutes after I got her out of packaging, out of her pill jar. She got loose on me, and I happened to find her about an hour later, which was very thankful for. But she's in here, and I took a look at her earlier. She's down in her hide in her little funnel web there, and I would say she's probably around 2 inches now. She looks a little longer in the legs, but basically still looks the same as this molt. You know, she hasn't even come close to having adult colors just like the Green Bottle Blue. Alright, and to the furthest left here, this is not a tarantula that died. This was a true spider that I had, and I only had him about 2 weeks. This spider here is a ground spider. I do not know the Latin name for them, the scientific name. I only know the common name, and I did a lot of research. It took me a while to find out what this tarantula was. I work at a school, and this tarantula was walking around the floor. This spider, true spider, was walking around the floor, and it kind of looked like an ant from the distance. It was very red, almost the color of my tripod from a distance. It literally was that red with the light shining on it, and she had very dark legs going down to the you know, from where the knee joints are to the legs. So about half of the legs were red and half of the legs were black. The abdomen was around a brownish color. The carapace was the same color as the legs. And it was hurt. It had one of his back legs was dragging there, so I left it alone, and it just kept showing up for over a 2-hour span. I just kept seeing this spider, so eventually I just put it in a cup and brought it home, and because I figured it was gonna die, I thought I would give it a maybe see if it would nurse it back to health and let it go. Found out it was a male. I could tell it was a male after I did some research on it. Found out it was a ground spider. That's my son taking a bath. But she or he actually, I had a few males in the enclosure. I had it in the same enclosure that I have my LP in. It's the same setup. I just put some moss in there, and she webbed up. Keep saying she. He webbed up in there and ate a few times. It actually lasted a lot longer than I thought he would, and he passed away. I knew he would pass away eventually. You can tell he was a male and was at the end of his life. But I never got a chance to show anyone this tarantula except my buddy, guitar guy 1031. He actually saw it, and while it was alive, I believe. And it was actually a cool spider. Acted more like a tarantula than a spider. So that was my first true spider that I ever owned. I'm glad I gave it a couple more weeks. It would have died that night if I would have kept it in the school. So I'm glad I gave it a couple extra weeks. Never got a chance to film it while I was alive. I kept on planning on doing it, but kept putting it off, and that's a shame because he was a cool spider. So, all right, and I will be ordering some soon or picking some up at the Reptile Expo this Sunday. So there you go, little update for you. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.